1. Introduction. My name is Fiona. I am 39 years old. For a long time, I thought love was not for me. I had a good life. I worked hard. I liked my job. I also traveled to many places. I saw different countries and cultures. These things made me happy in some ways. I enjoyed my independence. I learned many new things, but as the years passed, things changed around me. My friends started to get married. One by one, they found their partners. They had families. They built homes together. I went to their weddings. I celebrated with them. I was happy for them, truly. I gave them gifts and smiled. But after the parties, I often went home alone. This made me feel lonely. Sometimes the loneliness was very strong. It was a quiet feeling, but it was always there. It felt like a part of me was missing. My parents worried about me a lot. They often called me. They asked me if I was okay. They wanted me to be happy. They wanted me to find someone special. I always told them, I am fine. My life is good. I said this because I did not want them to worry too much. I did not want them to feel sad for me, but inside, I knew I was not completely fine. I had a secret wish. I truly wanted a partner. I wanted someone to share my life with. I wanted to feel loved by one special person. I wanted to build a future with someone. As I got older, this wish felt harder to reach. When I was 39, I thought it might be too late for me. People often find love when they are younger. Starting a new relationship at my age seemed difficult. I worried about what people would think. Would they say I was too old? Would they say it was strange? I worried about new beginnings. It felt like time was moving too fast and I was falling behind. I saw many happy couples, and sometimes I felt left out. But even with these thoughts, a small part of me still held hope. It was a very small hope, like a tiny light in the darkness. It told me not to give up. It told me that maybe, just maybe, love could still find me. I did not know how or when it would happen, but this small feeling stayed with me. It was a feeling that tomorrow could bring something new and wonderful. I tried to live my life day by day, holding onto this small hope. I went to work, I saw my friends, and I tried to be happy. But the wish for a partner and the small hope were always with me. They were a quiet part of my heart. 2. A new person. One evening, I decided to visit a small art gallery. The gallery was quiet, with many interesting paintings on the walls. I walked slowly, looking at each picture. Then I stopped in front of a painting that showed the sea. It was a beautiful picture of blue water and a wide sky. While I was looking at the painting, a man came and stood next to me. He smiled. His name was Bob. He was 42 years old. Bob had very kind eyes, and his presence made me feel calm. We started to talk about the painting. Bob told me he liked the sea because it always made him think of peace. He said the big ocean made him feel quiet inside. I listened to him carefully. Then I told him my thoughts. I said I loved the sea because it made me think of freedom. I told him that the open water made me feel like anything was possible. We had different ideas, but we both loved the same painting. It was interesting to hear his point of view. Our conversation continued easily. We talked about the colors in the painting, the sound of the waves, and how the sea made us feel. We talked about other art in the gallery, too. We found that we liked many of the same artists. It was easy to talk to Bob. He listened carefully, and he asked good questions. I felt comfortable sharing my thoughts with him as if I had known him for a long time. The hours passed very quickly. We talked for a long time. It felt like only a few minutes, but when I looked at the clock, many hours had passed. The gallery was almost closing. When it was time to leave, I felt a new feeling inside me. I felt very happy. It was a good feeling, a light feeling in my heart. I had not felt this happy in many years. Walking home that night, a smile stayed on my face. It was a big smile, and it felt very natural. I felt a light step as I walked. Meeting Bob was a nice surprise. I thought about our conversation and his kind eyes. It felt special to have met him. It was a very good night, a new beginning for my feelings. 3, more than friends. Bob and I started to meet often after our first talk. We chose simple places like a coffee shop or a park. These meetings became a regular part of my week. I always looked forward to seeing him. He had a calm way that made me feel good. During our talks, we shared many things. Bob told me about his work and his quiet life. He talked about his hobbies and his family. I learned about his past and his dreams. He listened when I spoke. It was easy to talk to him. I felt safe sharing my thoughts. I started to tell him about my life. I spoke about my job and my travels. More importantly, I told him about my fears. I told him how I worried about being alone. I shared my feelings about watching my friends marry. I explained that I sometimes felt too old to find love. Bob never judged me. He just listened with great care. He understood my feelings. This made our connection stronger. Our friendship grew slowly. It was not a fast change, but a gentle one. Each time we met, I felt closer to him. I began to think about him when he was not there. I missed his calm voice and his kind eyes. I started to realize my feelings for him were more than just friendly. I was beginning to feel love, a warm feeling I thought I would never have again. One evening, we were walking home after dinner. The streetlights were on, making the path bright. It was a cool evening, but I felt warm inside. We stopped for a moment under a tall light. Bob turned to me. He looked at me with his soft eyes. Then he gently took my hand. His hand was warm in mine. He looked at me and spoke quietly. He said, "Fiona, I don't want to just be your friend." My heart started to beat very fast. It felt like a bird trying to fly out of my chest. I looked at him. I could not speak at first. All the feelings I had for him filled my mind. I felt the same way. I wanted more than friendship with Bob. I found my voice and I whispered back to him. I said, "I don't want that either." It was a simple sentence, but it meant so much. In that moment, under the streetlights, everything changed. Our friendship was no longer just a friendship. It was the start of something new and beautiful. I felt a great happiness inside me. It was a special moment I would always remember. For I am afraid. I loved Bob very much. My heart felt happy when I was with him, but even with this new love, I started to feel afraid. Many doubts came into my mind. I was 39 years old. This age felt very old to start a new life. Was it too late for me to begin again? These questions made me feel worried. People around me began to talk. They whispered when they saw Bob and me. They asked why we had waited so long to find each other. Everyone seemed to have an opinion. Some friends had strong ideas. One friend said, "It is too late for you now." This made me feel sad and unsure. But another friend said, "You are so lucky to find love at your age." These different words made my mind confused. I did not know what to think. My parents also had mixed feelings. They were happy to see me with Bob. They knew I had been lonely for a long time, but they also worried about my future. They wanted me to be happy, but they shared some common ideas about age and new beginnings. I could see their concern in their eyes. I looked at Bob often during these weeks. He was always calm. He had a kind smile. He never asked me to hurry or to make a quick decision. He understood that I needed time. His quiet strength was very important for me. He did not push me. He just stood by me. When I felt afraid, I looked at him. His calm eyes helped me. His steady presence gave me power to fight my own fears. I knew I loved him, and I needed to be strong enough to believe in our future. I tried to remember this truth every day. 5. A big question. One evening, the sky was dark. Rain began to fall softly. Bob and I decided to take a walk. We were near the river, a place we both liked very much. The cool air touched our faces. The sound of the rain was gentle. Lights from the city reflected on the wet ground and in the water of the river. It was a calm and beautiful night, even with the rain. We walked slowly, side by side. We did not talk much, but the silence between us was comfortable. I felt happy just being with him. We had shared many moments like this, quiet and full of peace. My heart felt light when I was with Bob. He always made me feel safe and understood. Suddenly, Bob stopped. He turned to face me. The rain continued to fall around us. He looked into my eyes. His hands reached for mine. They were warm and strong. My heart started to beat a little faster. I wondered what he was going to say. His face was serious, but his eyes were kind as always. "Fiona," he began, his voice soft but clear. "I want to spend the rest of my life with you." For a moment, I could not speak. The words hung in the rainy air. My mind felt full of many feelings at once. It was like a big wave of emotion washed over me. I felt the rain on my face, but I also felt tears. I started to laugh, but then I also started to cry. It was a mix of joy, surprise, and deep happiness. This was a moment I had often dreamed of, but sometimes thought would never happen for me. My hands were still in his. I squeezed them gently. I looked at his kind face, wet with rain. All my past worries seemed to disappear. All the doubts I had felt about my age, about starting over, they all faded away in that moment. Only Bob and his big question were real. "Yes, Bob," I said, my voice a little shaky from the emotion. "Yes, I will. 1,000 times yes." A big smile spread across his face. He pulled me closer, and we stood there in the rain, holding each other. The river continued to flow, and the city lights shone around us. It felt like the world had stopped just for us. This was not just a question, it was the start of everything new. It was a promise of a future I had hoped for, a future filled with love and companionship. This moment was truly the beginning of a new life for me. It was a step into a future that felt bright and full of hope. I felt like the luckiest woman in the world, standing there in the rain with the man I loved. 6. We plan our day. We talked about our wedding right away. Bob and I both agreed on a small day. We wanted only our closest family and friends to be there. This made the planning feel less big. We did not want a very large party. We wanted a quiet day full of real feelings. It was important for us to share this special moment with the people who loved us most. I started to think about what I would wear. I looked at many dresses. In the end, I chose a simple white dress. It felt right for me. It was not too fancy. Bob also decided on his clothes. He would wear a dark suit. We talked about small things like flowers and music. Sometimes I felt nervous during this time. There were many things to think about. My mind would race. But Bob was always very calm. He had a quiet way about him. When I felt worried, he would just smile. He would tell me that everything would be fine. He often said, "Fiona, we just need to enjoy this time." The small things do not matter as much as our love. He really meant it. He showed me how much he cared every day. He wanted me to be happy, not stressed. If I looked tired, he would ask me to sit down. He would make me a cup of tea. He remembered how I liked it with a little milk and no sugar. Sometimes he would take a task from me. He would say, "I can do that, you rest." He was very kind. He saw when I needed help, even before I asked. He always reminded me that love was the most important thing. The color of the napkins or the type of cake did not matter as much as our feelings for each other. He made me laugh when I felt stressed about small details. His calm actions helped me a lot. During these weeks, I understood how deeply Bob cared for me. He was not just saying things. He was showing me with his actions. I felt a new feeling inside me. It was a feeling of safety. For many years, I had not felt truly safe like this. With Bob, I felt protected and loved. It was a wonderful feeling. I knew I had made the right choice. He was truly my partner. Our wedding day was coming, and I felt ready. 7, our wedding. The wedding day finally came. The sky was a clear blue, and the sun was shining brightly. It truly felt like a perfect day for a new beginning in my life. I woke up early that morning, feeling a mix of pure happiness and a little bit of nerves. My closest friend helped me get ready. I put on my simple white dress, which felt soft and elegant. I looked at myself in the mirror and saw a happy, excited smile on my face. Soon, it was time to leave for the small, pretty place where we would get married. My heart was beating quite fast, but it was a wonderful, happy feeling. When I arrived, I saw all our family and friends waiting inside. Everyone looked joyful and excited for us. I took a deep breath, ready for this important moment. This was the moment I had waited for a very long time. I started to walk slowly down the aisle. My father walked proudly beside me, holding my arm gently. As I walked, I saw Bob. He was standing at the end of the aisle, waiting for me with a warm smile. He looked very handsome in his dark suit. His eyes met mine, and his loving gaze made me feel completely calm and safe. It was as if he was saying, "You are finally here. Everything is perfect now." His smile was so warm and full of deep love. In that beautiful moment, all my past worries and doubts disappeared. We stood together, holding hands, our fingers linked. The person leading the wedding ceremony began to speak kind words about love and commitment. We listened carefully to every word. Then, it was time for us to say our vows. We spoke our promises to each other, clearly and with full hearts. I promised to love Bob, to be kind, and to be with him always, through good times and bad. Bob made his promises to me with equal sincerity. Each word we spoke felt true and very important. After we said our vows, Bob looked at me with so much tenderness and smiled. Then he kissed me gently. It was a kiss full of love, hope, and new promises. In that second, I felt a deep sense of peace settle over me. I thought about my life before this day. I had waited for many years for this kind of true love, and now it was finally here. It felt absolutely right. All those years of waiting were not wasted time. They had led me directly to this beautiful and perfect point in my life. Our families clapped warmly, their faces full of joy. Our friends cheered loudly for us, sharing in our happiness. Their happy sounds filled the small, lovely room. I looked at Bob, and he looked back at me, our eyes full of shared joy. We were now husband and wife. A feeling of pure, complete joy filled my heart. I thought, I am 39 years old. Many people might think I am late to get married, but for me, this timing is not late at all. It is exactly right. This was my perfect moment, a wonderful new chapter starting with the man I loved most. 8. Our new life. Our new life as a married couple with Bob was simple, kind, and full of happiness. Every day, we found joy in little things. We enjoyed doing everyday activities together. Cooking was one of our favorite things to do. In the evenings, we often made dinner together, talking about our day. The kitchen became a warm and special place for us. We shared stories and laughed while preparing food. It was a peaceful routine that we both loved very much. We also enjoyed our quiet mornings. We woke up slowly and drank coffee together. Sometimes we read books, and sometimes we just sat, enjoying the silence and each other's company. These calm moments made us feel very close. Even simple tasks like going to the grocery store felt different and better when we did them together. We walked in the park, holding hands, and talked about our plans for the week. Every shared moment felt important. Traveling was another thing we loved. We did not go to big, busy cities. Instead, we visited small, quiet towns. We walked through old streets, looked at local shops, and tried new foods. These trips were always peaceful and fun. We learned new things about each other and about the world. Being able to explore new places with Bob made every journey special. It felt good to share these experiences with my husband. Sometimes I thought about my life before Bob. I remembered the long, lonely evenings when I was by myself. I used to feel sad sometimes, thinking that love might not find me. But now, those memories felt very far away. My heart was full of thanks for this new chance at happiness. Life had given me a wonderful gift, a second chance to find true love and companionship. I was no longer lonely. I had a partner who understood me completely and loved me for who I was. Many people say that love comes when you are young. But for Bob and me, love came later in life. I was 39 years old when I met Bob, and he was 42. We were both ready for this kind of deep and true love. It felt strong and real. Our story began at the perfect time for both of us. It was not late. It was exactly right. Every day, I felt very lucky to share my life with him. Our new life together was truly a happy new beginning, filled with warmth and understanding. We had found each other, and it was perfect.